sports fans. Guess what? Sports Talk is McKinney. We are back. And when Sports Talk is McKinney comes to town, the rest of town shuts down. I'll tell you what, we are pumped up, we are excited, got a lot to talk about tonight. First thing I'm going to talk about is playoffs, NBA playoffs. Playoffs, Mike?
Playoffs, Dave.
Talking about playoffs?
We're talking about playoffs. We're talking about the Cleveland Cavs wreaking havoc in the East. We're talking about OKC. We're talking about the Spurs gone, out.
I'm eating some crow, Mike. I had the Spurs winning the championship this year. I had them actually beating the Golden State Warriors. But instead, a shocker last night in Golden State, Oklahoma City goes into the Golden State Warrior team that had won 73 games during the regular season. They won game one, and what a shootout it was. I'm telling you, it felt like it was a shootout at the OK Corral. Just what a game last night.
They dominated, talking about the Warriors, dominated the first three quarters. But, of course, you got to finish, as we know from Cobra Ball. Isn't that right?
That's right.
And OKC dominated that fourth quarter. And, between Durant and Westbrook, 53 points, taking over the fourth quarter, 1-0 lead, overcoming a 13-point deficit at the half. There's questions, Austin. What are your feelings about OKC and the Warriors now?
Well, last night there was 4 Thunder players that had double-doubles. That's just crazy to think about that. It's going to be definitely an exciting series. I'm gonna say it's gonna go 7 games. Looking at the regular series, all the games were super close, overtimes, most of them. They're a fun game to watch. It's gonna be a great series.
Well, I'll tell you what, Austin, B.A. McBee, we're so glad to have you back on the show.
He's like our senior NBA correspondent.
Yes, it's great to have all this inside analysis that we can have on the game of basketball. And I'll tell you what, to me, that game the other night reminded me of some of the series in the late 80s. It was a shootout. I felt like it's Jordan, putting up 50 against Dominique putting up 50. Having the, two of the best duos in our era. And I'm talking about, we had Westbrook, we had Durant. And then you also, on the other side, you have Stephen Curry and you have Thompson. I mean, it was a shootout of truly epic proportions between those two. And I'll tell you what, the play between those guys was just absolutely incredible the other night. I felt like it was like a shootout at the OK Corral. It was like 4 gunslingers. As you hear my dog Stanley, he keeps, coming into our mobile studio here tonight, our top secret location. But I'll tell you what, it felt like it was, some Old West gunslingers. You had the Hatfields and the McCoys meeting up and going at it. And who's going to be the last man standing in this series? And I agree with B.A. I think this series goes 7 games.
Well, one of the things, that I look back on many of our, NBA fast break discussions in the past. One time we talked about who was the best all-around player. Right? We see Draymond Green. He's part of the series. Who's the best player? Stephen Curry. Russell Westbrook was in that conversation early on in the season, and from his days at UCLA all until now, he's gotten a lot of heat for being selfish or whatnot. But he is a beast, and along with Durant, I think you take Durant and you take Westbrook, but I think on the Warriors side of the ball, even with the loss last night, you got Klay Thompson, you got Curry, you got Green. I think it's just going to be a little too much for them to overcome, especially with the home court advantage. And Game 7, I agree with you guys. It may go 7. And if it does go 7, it's going to be in Golden State's arena. And that's what I think is going to be a difference, Austin.
It's crazy to look at it. I can't get anywhere past it. It's going to be 7-game series. It's going to be hard fought. And I do believe if it doesn't go 7, the Thunder are going to take it. But if it does come to that 7th game, the Warriors are going to have it out.
And one of the things I just talked about, earlier in the season, we talked about who is the greatest player in the game now, the overall best player, most well-rounded player. And I said Draymond Green, and you said LeBron James. So what about, speaking of LeBron James, what about the Cavs? What about the Cavs? What's going on there?
Well, I think the Cavs, in the words of Moses Malone, 4-4-4. They are winning, of course, they won the first series in a 4-game sweep, second series in a 4-game sweep. The Toronto Raptors, to me, they're getting swept out. The Cleveland Cavaliers, for all the, controversy going on with Tyronn Lue coming on at coach, can Kevin Love coexist with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James? It seems like the Cleveland Cavaliers are gelling just at the right time. But, Mike, to me, I really feel the East, their record is overinflated right now due to the weakness of the teams in the East. I think Golden State will win in 7 games. I think they are going to the finals. I think, the last stand by OKC is going to be one heck of a series. But I don't see the Cleveland Cavaliers. I see them getting to the finals. I don't see them beating the Golden State Warriors in the finals this year. I think Golden State, now that San Antonio's out of the way, I think Golden State, to me, is the favorite.
I think one of the most interesting things about the Cleveland Cavaliers right now is how quiet LeBron James is. He's not complaining. Of course, you don't complain when you win 9 games in a row in the playoffs, but he's not complaining about sharing the ball. He doesn't have to score 30 points a game. He doesn't have to take over the games. He's got some help.
Yeah, that's. I actually read a stat the other day. It says Kevin Love is 12-0 when he starts as a starter on the Cavs, and I mean that stands for itself. 12-0 as a starter. That's good. The big three, I think they're hitting their right stride in the playoffs. There's nothing that can go wrong for them right now. I do believe that the Toronto Raptors aren't going to get swept. I think that Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, one game, maybe in Toronto, is going to have a big game and be able to actually win one. But I believe it's going to be maybe a 4-1, maybe a 4-2 series. But Cavaliers are definitely going to the finals from the East.
Yeah, and what about the different style of play that we're seeing from the Cavaliers lately? And really, they just started this 3-ball style late in the regular season. It wasn't like Lou came in there and transformed them immediately. It was a slow process, and now they're like the Warriors of the East.
I think they're just adapting. The style of the NBA has changed so much. I mean, if you watch the 1990s when you had the Knicks and the Bulls battling it out and, having the NBA be so physical, the NBA is not physical now. There is basically no defense being played. And I think the Cavs were playing probably a late 90s style earlier in the year under Coach David Black. Since they've gone to Lou, to his credit, and I've been critical of him, to his credit, they've adapted more of a current NBA style similar to Steve Kerr's Golden State Warriors. But to me, I think that is going to be a great series. I think LeBron James is taking it personal that Stephen Curry ended up winning the MVP for the second year in a row. And not only did he just win the MVP, he won it unanimously. And I think LeBron James is taking that personal. And I think he's going to put up a heck of a series like he did last year. But I still think the Golden State Warriors are just so tough to beat. I cannot see any team beating them, enough games at home. And they'll pick up a couple games on the road. But, I mean, just an exciting Final Four in the NBA right now.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that, I think if the Cavs meet up with the Warriors in the finals, man, what a 3-on-3 matchup that would be. You could just get rid of everybody else and have, Irving, Love, and LeBron against Curry, Thompson, and Green. Man, would that be fun to watch? And what a fun series that would be. But I'm not convinced that the Warriors would pull that one out. Because LeBron, he is LeBron.
Yeah, I don't see it pulled out either. Last year was a close series between the Warriors and the Cavs, but they didn't have Kyrie or Kevin Love. So I mean, during the regular season, yes, the Warriors did beat them, but I don't know. There's just a different mindset. They're coexisting. The big three in Cleveland are, and I really think that it's going to be a good series if they do both make it to the finals. But if the Warriors and Cavs make it to the finals, I think it's going to be Cavs in 6 or 7. I do.
Well, I'm going with the Warriors. You're going with the Cavs. Who are you picking in the finals, Mike?
Oh gosh, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to take the easy way out. I think if the Warriors get there, the way the Cavs are playing and the confidence that they're building, I'm going to go with the Cavs. But I think if OKC rides this wave of emotion and this momentum that they have, that they're going to clash perfectly. And it's going to be an explosive offensive show for OKC. And I see them winning it. So I'm going to say OKC versus the Cavs. They win. And I'm going to say the Cavs versus the Warriors. They win. So I guess we'll see.
All right, well, great segment. Thank you for joining us, BA. We're going to go to break. And
thanks so much.
When we come back, so glad to have you on the show. When we're going to come back, it's been an exciting week in the world of Major League Baseball. We're going to be back to talk a little Major League Baseball when we come back here on Sports Talk is McKimmie.